Hey guys, it's Joyce, and today I will be speaking upon the topic of black women being portrayed in media as being angry. Now, the reason why I chose this topic is because as a young black woman, it really does hurt my feelings that we have this stereotype attached to us that we're always angry and short tempered and very ill mannered. But instead of just kind of letting my emotions affect my way of thinking and causing me to be closed-minded, I really wanted to do research and discover why people believe this stereotype and why this stereotype is so heavily placed upon women of color. So what I came up with, I'm just going to start off with a study that I read by Kerwin in 2017, is that only 12% of black and white women feel that black women are portrayed in a positive light within media. So, what I recepted from that is that it's not bias. That women of other races also notice it too. And for only 12% of black and white women to feel that black women are positively portrayed, it basically means that majority of that other 88% agrees that black women are represented negatively within media, and that we are known as being loud and always angry and upset. So moving on from there, and just kind of to tie it all in together with starting off, is that okay, since a lot of people believe that this stereotype is put out there in media, that this stereotype is heavily being pushed in people's face, well, what has caused this stereotype? Why are we portrayed this way? So I had researched another article by Walley-Jean that was conducted in 2009 that says that in actuality there's a lack of research as to why black women are portrayed this way within media. There really hasn't been any evidence that supports this stereotype based on maybe someone having a faulty encounter with the black woman and kind of taking that situation and running with it and creating this overall perception of what black women are. And they just really couldn't find why we were placed into these character traits of being angry. And then another study by Kretsedemas in 2010. I apologize because I know I said that name incorrectly. I really cannot pronounce it. But that study was conducted in 2010, and it basically says that although there isn't any research that supports why people has created this the normalization of a black woman being angry, they do speak upon how media has portrayed it so much in recent years that is why people kind of believe that stereotype and run with it. It's just that form of repetition, always seeing it within black films, within TV series. You're always going to see that angry mad black woman being showcased. And it also spoke about how that although that stereotype is placed on black women, it's not necessarily placed on black women who have a lighter complexion. That stigma is really attached to black women who are of a deeper color and not a deeper color, who has a darker complexion, and that women who have more Eurocentric features are represented in a more delicate light. So that's what I took from that. And then kind of moving on from that, speaking of how women who have Eurocentric features aren't tied into that stereotype, is mainly placed onto black women, goes into why a lot of people still believe that stereotype about black women, also based on how black women react to interracial relationships. So it's no newfound discovery that black men are very comfortable with dating outside of their race, and that black women have an issue with it. But what was discussed in this article, which was written by Childs in 2005, is that it has created some type of racism within ourselves. That black women has grown to kind of hate themselves because they don't feel that they're represented as being beautiful or being worthy, and that this is based on the high rates of interracial relationships within the black community. How black women, well, not black women, how black men are deciding to choose white women or Hispanic women over black women, and that itself has caused us to react in an angry way, but not necessarily out of spite, but more so out of hurt, because we just feel like we're not accepted, and it carries over into our traits, which, you know, although there isn't research that supports why black women act this way, but when you see how black women react to certain situations of interracial relationships, it kind of strengthens that idea, but it's a little bit more deeper than that. And within that article, it started kind of going past the surface level and really digging into how did this concept come up and what was the cause for it. And really within my last article, which was conducted by Ashley in 2014, it really stated about where was the source of this, of black women being considered angry. And what I took from it is basically, and discovered from it, is that these stereotypes that has been placed on black women come from in a sense of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, I kind of got lost. Comes for trauma. That's the word. Being traumatized from how we were treated in the past. Just kind of going back to slavery days, how, you know, if you was a darker complected woman, you were considered the field worker, versus if you was lighter complected, you worked in a home. And that caused discrepancies between black women with the dark skin, light skin nonsense that goes on. But kind of going on to that it caused black women to be bitter, especially black women of darker complexion. It caused them to be bitter. It caused them to be angered. And it carried over. It caused black women to be very hostile and easy to get annoyed and not being open-minded to certain things. And it's really all related to mental health issues, that black women should seek therapy. But what the article also mentioned is that a lot of physicians feel that black women aren't good patients for therapy, that we have a lot of paranoia and we aren't very open-minded to the suggestions that are given to us, which ties in even more heavily with that typical stereotype. And I would say overall what I gained from reading these articles and just kind of learning how this tag has been placed upon us is that it's just a lack of understanding. It's not that necessarily that black women are angry or so short-tempered. It's just that so much has been done to us in the past, and even today within 2018, we have to work super hard to be accepted and to be viewed as equal compared to a woman of another race that may have the same qualifications as us. But since we have this stereotype attached to us, we aren't taken as seriously, or we are considered more so of a risk. And although that these articles kind of open my mind to understanding why people who aren't black may feel this way, because I will say media is a big cause for that. When you see something over and over again that gives you this representation of what a particular gender or race represents, it's easy for you to believe it, especially if you don't have a lot of friends who are black women and you have never encountered a black woman who beheld a sweet personality. But it was very interesting. It made me be a little bit more sensitive towards why people do believe this. But I believe that everyone should do their research and know that stereotypes shouldn't overall determine your perspective of others. So my time is almost running out. That's all I have for you all today, and I hope you like what I had to say.